Well, for more on that funeral, then we're going to cross to our special envoy in the Vatican, Clovis Casali. Hi again, Clovis. So you, of course, attended that ceremony this morning. What was the atmosphere like?
Quite a unique atmosphere, and several mourners we met told us that this was all about coming together. All those who loved, who respected Pope Francis and embraced his values were here in St. Peter's Square. And Cardinal Ray, who led the funeral service, said that Pope Francis touched minds and hearts, that he wanted to create bridges, not walls. And of course, by that he meant the repeated calls for peace and tolerance that Pope Francis made during his life. And that was also a message that touched many of the mourners, 250,000 people around St. Peter's Square for this funeral. Pope Francis, who called for peace in Ukraine, in Gaza, and all the war-torn areas in the world. And that message was also very strong because in front of him, Cardinal Ray had dozens of heads of states and royals.
So, as you mentioned there, Clovis, there were some 50 world leaders present, and though they were obviously there for the funeral, the reality of the geopolitical situation was clearly impossible for them to ignore. Can you tell us more about what we saw on that front?
Until the very last minute, we weren't sure whether Volodymyr Zelensky, the Ukrainian president, would be able to make it here to the Vatican, as he had important meetings in Ukraine. Obviously, the country is at war after the Russian aggression, but Volodymyr Zelensky did manage to travel to the Vatican and met with US President Donald Trump before the funeral for about 15 minutes. The White House saying it was constructive, and Volodymyr Zelensky saying it had the potential of being historic. Volodymyr Zelensky, who of course wants peace, but also doesn't want to give up large parts of his territory to Russia following the aggression ordered by Vladimir Putin. Volodymyr Zelensky also meeting in bilateral talks with French President Emmanuel Macron, also British Prime Minister Keir Starmer, and Giorgia Meloni, the leader of Italy.
Clovis Casali in the Vatican, thank you very much.